Husband material is self-aware. Self-aware. Self-aware means that you know yourself, you know your weaknesses, you know your strengths, you know what you're working on. You're just self-aware. You know, like if you're impatient, you know that that you're impatient. And all self-aware people are usually working on themselves. And that's a good thing. Because being self-aware means, like, the worst thing for a person, for a man or woman, is that there's something you're doing that turns people off, but you don't know that you do it. So you meet great people, but after the first date or two, they don't come back again. They're just gone because they saw you being prickly, being irritable. They saw you getting annoyed unnecessarily. They just saw something that turned them off, but you don't know. You just be yourself, and then you just keep being yourself, and people are running away from you, and you actually don't know. So husband material has got to be self-aware. And you yourself, young lady, you got to be self-aware, where you kind of know who you are, and you're working on it. And you can never be self-aware without accepting, listening to people's criticism of you, where a close friend that loves you says, I thought you were a bit irritable over there, and you didn't defend yourself. Because most times when you talk to people about themselves, they defend themselves. They deflect, they get defensive, they counterattack, they do many things, but they don't receive it. And for you to be self-aware, you must be able to be spoken to. You must be able to receive people's observation of you, because, to be quite frank, nobody can get to know and see themselves completely. Did you get that? So you got to be self-aware. Husband material. Husband material is kind. Yes, kind is a big thing. Is sacrificial. And sacrificial is important because if husband material, if this guy stays in his comfort zone on most issues, he's not good husband material, because just by virtue of being a husband and later on being a father, you're going to have to be sacrificial. And it's not something that you learn on the, at the last minute. You've got to have it in you to be sacrificial. So husband material is sacrificial. That is very important. Husband material is humble. Humble is good. And humble does not mean weak. Sometimes when we say a guy is humble, then you go look for this weak guy. No. Humility is strength under control. So the guy is strong. He's strong character. He can handle being a leader, because he has to be a leader. We'll talk about that soon. But then he is also, he's humble. He's not full of himself. He's humble. He can listen. He can change his mind. He can be spoken to. He can be reached. And that is important. Husband material can communicate. He knows how to use his words. It's good for a man to know how to use his words. So he's not being overly physical, and he's not being overly silent. No silent treatment, no physical abuse. He can verbalize his emotions, and he can communicate, he can speak. And that's very important. When you meet a guy who clams up and can't really speak much or doesn't speak much, when you marry him, you're going to run into problems, because communication is major in marriage. Communication is extremely important. Open communication, where you're able to speak to yourselves and have difficult conversations, that is so important. Husband material must be able to laugh at himself. It's very important. It's interesting where I see a lot of women. If you ask them what they're looking for in a man, they want a man that can make them laugh, which is interesting. Most men don't think like this, but a lot of women like a man that can make them laugh. So husband material can make fun of himself. He doesn't take himself too serious. He can be serious when he wants to, because as a man, he has to be serious from time to time. But then he can laugh at himself. He can really play. Okay. Husband material does not say, "This is who I am." This statement, "This is who I am," is one of the worst statements that any human being can ever make, because it tells a lot. "This is who I am" means that I am not willing to transform. I'm not willing to change. I'm not willing to learn anything new. I'm not willing to develop myself. And if the person I am now is causing you pain, I'm not willing to change. So even though I'm married to you and I realize that I'm causing you pain, but because this is who I am, I'm going to keep causing you pain till you can't take it anymore. So husband material does not say, "This is who I am." It's very bad. It's not good. Husband material has to be a safe place. If you don't feel safe around this person, they are poor husband material. A husband material is a person who makes you feel safe. He's a safe place for you. That is important. Husband material is consistent. Consistent. No mixed signals. Just a consistent person. And that is so important. Very important too for husband material is he has to be God-fearing. When a person is God-fearing, it doesn't mean you find him in church, because the devil goes to church. So you can go to church and bring the devil back. God-fearing means that the most important way to see if a person is God-fearing is you got to observe how many things is he not doing because of his relationship with God or because he fears God. Very important. This thing I'm saying is this is where you see clearly what a man is. It's not about what he says, how he dresses, how he speaks, or you find him in church or somewhere in a religious place. No, it's about in his life, what does he abstain from because he loves God? Now this is important because if he consistently abstains from a number of things because of his relationship with God, then he has a relationship with God. Now, what this does is that a man who has a relationship with God, there's a limit to how much he can do to you, how much damage or hurt he can bring your way, because there are limits to what he can do. There's just some things he won't do because he fears God, and there's some things that he will try to do because he fears God. And so it's very important. Like, if you take God out of the equation in your choice of marriage, you are going to pay bitterly for that choice. So make sure that truly you make sure that this person, he has a relationship with God, because it's a good thing. Are we good? Any questions? Do I have any questions? Do I see any questions? I haven't seen any questions so far. I don't think so. So we're listening, and that is good. Okay. 3 main things that a man must bring when into a marriage, and you've got to see, husband material must know love. I said this earlier, must know love. Husband material must know how to provide. It's not about how much he has, but it's about how well he's giving it up. Is he concerned about providing? Is he providing? Is he able to provide? This is really, really important for a man. He has to be able to provide, and he has to be able to protect. Now, when I say protect is big. Protect is just not protect you physically, protect you emotionally, protect you from his parents, protect you from his siblings, protect you from anything that is negative. A man should be around you, and he should be a shield around you, where if anything that's contrary starts to move in your direction, he gets in the way and he deals with it, and you're protected. And this is important. Husband material must really know how to protect. And love is a verb, it's not a feeling. Let's know this. Marriage is for a lifetime. And the feeling of love cannot sustain marriage for a lifetime. It just can't. Feelings come. That feeling, the maximum it will last is 18 to 24 months. But a lifetime is years. So love is a verb. It's when you understand that love is a decision, is a commitment to do something, and I'm doing it intentionally, that you're able to do it forever. Till whenever you can just keep doing love. So love is unconditional. Love is sacrificial. Love is intentional. Love is many, many things. I have a whole list of what love is. And if you DM me, I will send you the list. Okay. Husband material must be able to provide you accommodation. If this man is living with his parents, or he's just like living with friends and he's talking marriage, do not consider it. Husband material must have his own accommodation. This is it's a no. Don't follow anybody that, can't even provide a roof over his own head, and he's trying to bring you in to join him. Think about it. It doesn't make sense. So do not do it. Okay. Husband material. I don't like men living with their in-laws. Like, that's not an option. Don't do it. Okay. Husband material should have an income. That's right. Have an income. If you're a man and you're at the point where you think a woman should join you, you have to have an income. Income enough to support yourself and the person that you're bringing. And some women have a lot of money, and that's fine. They have more money than you. It's okay. But you must still have your own income. Okay? And your plans for the future must not be based on the money that she's bringing in. That's not, any man whose future plans is based on your money is bad husband material. Let me tell you now, because I've run into some women where you haven't married him, but he's already making plans on how he's going to use your money to do things. No, that's bad husband material. Say PD said so. and I can back it up with a lot of of information. So don't do that. She can be richer than you, fine, but you still pay your bills and carry the weight, okay? And she'll help whenever if she feels like. Are we good? Husband material is ready to fight for his wife if need be. I like that. If if your husband better go and learn some martial arts, because you're gonna be ready to fight for your wife and make sure she's safe at all times. Okay. Husband material values your opinion. It's very you see, if you have a man who always like puts down your opinion, or he undervalues whatever you bring, or he trivializes the things that you say, this is a very bad husband material. And note it from don't let it get to a really bad situation before you notice that this guy trivializes things that concern me. A good husband material, he values what you say. He puts a lot of value on things that concern you. So don't follow a man who trivializes you or the things that concern you. It's very, very bad. Husband material must be teachable. Very important. It's interesting when women give me a list of what they look for in a husband, they never hardly on their own add teachability. Meanwhile, the thing that has the greatest potential to destroy their marriage and cause them a lifetime of pain is a man being unteachable. Because if he's unteachable, it's very simple. If we're all raised in different places, when we come together, we think differently. So if in my mind something is okay for me to do, but when I do it, it causes you pain. And you tell me, PD, this thing is causing me pain, but I'm not teachable. I reject it. I'm proud. I look down what you're saying. I resist what you're saying. I just become defensive, and I hold on to my mindset, which means I continue doing that thing. What's going to happen? It means that the pain that you're experiencing increases over and over and over again. It gets to a point where you can't take the pain anymore. And that's where marriages break. And you say, darling, I'm out. I can't do this anymore. I'm going back home. And for just one reason, because he was not teachable. But this is something that most women never list in what they're looking for in a man, that the man be teachable. So know this, hear this. The man you marry must be teachable. If he is not teachable, then leave him. And ladies, I'd like to tell you this. There's no last good guy in the market. Because many times women are like, if I leave him, when or where will I get another guy? There are good guys out there. You be a good woman. Good women attract good men. High value women attract high value men. So the key here is for you to be what you want. And if you are what you want and you maintain it, the man will come. Because most times it works. Most times I see a woman, you're high value and everything, but you're isolating yourself. You're sitting in your house, you don't go out, you're rude to people that just look at you and smile at you. And after church, you rush home, you don't just stop to talk to anybody. You don't take advantage of any opportunity to network or to mingle or to open. And then you say there are no men out there. Of course, you've removed yourself from the men. You've isolated yourself from the men. Right now, in the worldwide, there is a spirit of isolation that is shutting people down. And by themselves, they are remaining in their houses. They're not going out. They're not talking to people. They're avoiding other people, and they're not happy. So if you're one of the people that I'm talking about, get out there, talk to people, join a gym, be part of a community. We were created to live in communities. Talking about communities, I am starting 2 communities, one online, one is physical in Dallas, in the Fort Worth area, in Frisco to be particular. And please join, DM me if you're interested, and I'll give you the details and we'll set this up as soon as possible. Are we good? Husband material must be teachable. Did we hear that? This is PD. Husband material must be willing to follow you for counseling. Like a test, a make or break test. If you've met a person, at some point say, I have this counselor I see. I booked a session to go see him. I'd like you to come with me. If the guy says no, I will not come, he's not willing to be spoken to, it's a very big red flag. That's a bad husband material. A man who is willing to learn, to follow you and learn some more and improve your relationship is the man you're looking for. A man who will not follow you to learn anything is very bad. And there are a lot of us out there. So keep your eyes open, shine your eye, like they say. Are we good? Good. Husband material must be a good communicator. He must speak his mind lovingly. Like there's a guy who he shouts and he's rude. And then you marry him and then you're crying because he was rude to you. Don't do that. I mean, like many times people think if I marry him, he'll change. He will not change. By the way, I must tell you this because this is just in my mind. I know a lady who, you met this guy. He's a 419 guy. You knew he does 419. And then you follow him. And then you married him. And then he cheats on you in some terrible kind of way. And then you come crying and say, he cheated on me. This guy cheats for a living. This is what he does for a living. He cheats for a living. So how did you think you would marry him and he wouldn't cheat on you? He definitely would. I mean, there has to be somebody who needs to hear this because this just is coming out of my head strongly. Yeah, why would you marry a person who you knew is a 419 person? He's cheating people for a living. And then you think he won't cheat you too? Of course he will. So start to be wise. Be wise. That's something else as well. Very few people, women, in their list of what they want in a man, say, I want a wise man. But do you realize that if you join a person, you've taken your life and put it in his hands, you've taken your body, you put it in his hands, you've joined him to go to where he's going, and you're not concerned about how much wisdom he has, it doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. This man is going to have to engage the journey to take you both from where you are to this great place that I hope he has in his mind. But you're not concerned about the wisdom he has. That's not okay. You've got to really go out to make sure that this person that you're following, this man, he's wise. And not only is he wise, he has somebody that he's following that is wise. Because if this man says, I'm taking you to this destination, my question is, who is showing you the way to this destination? Who are you listening to? Who are you following? Because if I follow you, then obviously I'll be following whoever it is that you're following. And if you're not following anybody, it means that you plan to just grope in the darkness in this journey of life, making mistakes, costing money and pain in an attempt to get to this place that you might never get to, that you might just never, ever get to. And it's easy to know from the beginning of the journey, like where are you going? Who are you following? Who are you listening to? Tell me the two people who you listen to the most and how do you listen to them? Do you have access to them, or are you reading their books or their tapes or their teachings, or how is it? And if the guy starts to fumble, like he doesn't know what you're talking about, leave him. Ladies, you've got to be able to leave bad husband material, because the reason why many marriages are failing is that you chose the wrong people. You held on to bad husband material. You knew it was bad husband material, or maybe you did not know, which means you function in ignorance. And let me tell you this, if you practice marriage in ignorance, you will encounter pain. Just write that down somewhere and say, if I practice marriage in ignorance, I will encounter pain. And you don't want to encounter pain, so you've got to get out of ignorance.